Greetings, everybody, again. So I'm kind of disappointed because I just lost 2 or 3 really good videos that I recorded to update you guys due to no sound. That's messed up. Anyhow, I had a phone conversation with the hospitals, which is really very interesting. So here's the deal. We have new updates. So I went to the hospital per some advice from my doula. She was like, why don't you just go get the baby checked out? Make sure the heart rate's good and you're doing good and everything. And you don't have to let them do anything you don't want to do. And I said, okay. So I went to the hospital here in Pittsburgh, where I'm from. I mean, not where I'm from. Oh my God, I'm from Berkeley. But where I live now. And I went in there and everything was fine. I was dilated. I checked myself before I left, and I was 4 to 5 centimeters. But I just learned from Ina May Gaskin that your cervix is like a sphincter. It's like trying to go poop in front of people you don't know. And so your baby, you can reverse in labor, actually. Anyway, so when they checked me, I was like 3 to 4. So anyhow, I was 3 to 4 centimeters dilated, that is. Today is 6/16, by the way, 2011. And I went to the hospital about 3 days ago. So anyway, I went to the hospital and everything was fine. My baby was fine. No problems, right? Until I decided, or I told them that I was going to have a home birth. Then it was the cords around the baby's neck, and there's fluid on the lungs, and we're not sure, but we think we see fluid on the lungs and all this other stuff, right? So I was like, okay. And they wanted me to sign this waiver, basically saying that they weren't liable or responsible for me. I didn't sign it because they kept saying, oh, your baby's in the wrong position. I was like, I don't believe in that. We just want to tell you that you're in danger and this and that. And I just was like, I don't believe in that. So I'm not signing nothing. They didn't even give me any discharge papers. They just let me walk out. So anyway, I was concerned that I wanted to get a second opinion. So I went to Alta Bates Hospital in Berkeley, where I'm from, and they did a check. They did an ultrasound. My baby looks fine. My baby's healthy. Heart rate is strong. Everything's fine. There's no cord around the neck. The baby is frank breech, which is a very good position to birth breech baby in. And I just went in there playing really dumb and blonde, like, oh, I heard that this could be an issue, and I'm really worried about the cord being around the neck, and could you tell me? And and I heard that this, and I heard that you kind of just, I did not tell them I plan on having a home birth because I didn't want instant panic. And my friend Rashad, midwife, she said, you just have to go in there and you want real information. You don't want them to give you misinformation. So what you have to do is just be prepared to just play as if you're going to go along and have your baby in the hospital. So anyhow, the technician was telling me everything that I wanted to know, and She gave me a picture of the baby and all of this stuff, right? So anyway, I left after that. I was like, my baby's fine. So they called me today, and that's why I'm so disappointed, because I had the whole conversation on video, but the sound wasn't working for some reason, and now I just have to rehash the conversation with you. But anyway, it's the fate of the Most High. So anyhow, what did they say? They said there's fluid around the baby's lungs, and that is a concern. So what the concern is, there was no cord around the neck and all that bull, but the fluid is an issue. I have some research to do, or I've done some research and talked to some people. I even asked the doctor. She said, your baby's fine, and when the baby's birthed naturally, that fluid could get squeezed out through the birth canal. You know what I mean? But then again, it could not. And the baby might have trouble breathing when it comes out. They even said scratch the breech part. If you don't want to have a cesarean section, we can't make you. There are doctors on staff at Altivates that can deliver a breech baby if that's what you really want to do. But she suggested that I come into the hospital simply because the fluid is a major issue. Or not major, she said, honestly, she doesn't know. It could be something, it could be nothing. But it could cause the baby to have problems breathing when it first comes out. And I said, well, what would you do in that case? Like, what are the side effects of having fluid around the lungs for the baby? And they said that the baby can have trouble breathing. They would have to intubate it, possibly, which is stick a tube inside the baby into the lungs to get the lungs to move and help breathe. Or they just give it oxygen. And so I'm thinking, at home, could I do mouth to mouth? But it might be more in depth than that. It may need to be more in depth than that. So I have a big decision to make, and I've already made it. I talked with my friend Rashad, the midwife, and she says, it's your call. You know what I mean? Truly, we are 100% responsible for our children. We cannot blame anybody for anything that goes wrong, whether it be in the hospital, whether it be at home. It's up to us to make those decisions, right? So I still want to and am going to take the responsibility upon myself to birth my baby at home, but I got a backup plan, which was suggested by Victoria, my doula, Victoria Muhammad. So she suggested, and Rashad said this was also a good idea. This is what a lot of home birth clients do of hers, home birth people, is you basically use the system to help you. What we're going to do is have the baby at home, start the birthing process, go through labor, start birthing. While the baby is coming out, call the paramedics. Okay? This is what I'm going to do, because if there's a chance that my baby isn't going to be breathing right, then I have to be sure that my baby is going to live. I'm not going to risk my baby's life. You understand? So what I'm going to do is call the paramedics. While I'm not calling the paramedics, my doula is calling the paramedics. While I'm birthing, she's gonna keep them backed up, way backed up, because I don't even want to smell a paramedic. You understand what I'm saying? I don't want them freaking me out or trying to rush and do nothing to me. So I'm gonna be way in the back of my house having a baby. She's gonna call them. They're gonna come and they're gonna wait. I'm going to have my baby, and I'm going to let it do its thing. I'm going to let it breathe if it's going to breathe. I'm going to let it be beautiful. You understand? If for some reason there's a problem, there are medical people on hand with all the equipment that they need to help my baby. That's what I'm going to do to be safe, because I went and found out this information. You know what I'm saying about the baby, which I'm glad I know. And like the doctor even said, it could be something, it could be nothing. But, you know, you have to weigh it. It's every person's personal situation. It's everyone's personal journey. You know what I mean? And so we all have to make these judgment calls. And so this is my judgment call. I'm not having my baby in the hospital. I'm not having a cesarean. I'm willing, though, to go use the system to get an ultrasound or get a group beta strep test or whatever it is that I feel like I'm comfortable with, because that's my choice, right? Just like it is a woman's choice to birth in a hospital if that's where she feels comfortable. But I personally don't want to begin my birthing process in a hospital, nor do I really want it to end there. But in order to guard the safety of my baby in light of this new information, that is what I'm going to do, is to have some medical people standing by. And if my baby is fine, I will never have to even see them, because my super doula is going to be like, baby's fine, bye-bye. And if the baby is not fine, thank the Most High that they're available to me to help my baby start breathing. So that's the update, folks. I wish I could have had the conversation on the phone with the doctor for you. I did record it. But shit happens. So anyhow, that is the update. I'm still pregnant at 41 weeks and a couple of days, and it's any minute now before my baby comes. Any minute. We're looking at the clock. You feel me? But see, everything happens for a reason. You know what I mean? And this whole process is happening for a reason, and I'm gonna pray, and I'm going to be reasonable, and I'm going to be practical and rational about the decisions that I'm making, and the responsibility of the decisions and choices that I'm making. If something happens to my baby, I'm telling you right now, I'm not gonna blame my husband. I'm not going to blame my doula. I'm not going to blame my friend and midwife, former midwife, Rashad. She's not in care of me, but she's a friend and she's a midwife. I'm not going to blame the hospitals. I'm not going to blame anybody. I'm going to say, this is what I chose, and these are the outcomes of my decisions. Okay, so yay, home birth all the way. Even if I do have a complication, I want mothers to still, and fathers and families to still feel empowered. The numbers on breech birth are 95% of breech birth babies come out just fine. 5% of breech birth babies have problems. That's not enough for me to go run into the hospital. There's fluid around the baby's lungs, and the baby could have problems breathing. But my baby scored a 10 on the ultrasound, which means the heart rate's good and all the other organs are good. My baby's heart is strong. My baby's head is strong. Everything's developed. So to me, and to my friend Rashad, she said, you know, if your baby's fine now, probably will be fine. But it's still up to me you know, Davina, Denise, Estrella, Ojai. You know what I'm saying? To say, yes, this is what I choose to do. I'm the 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 mama, and the baby's in me, and me and the baby are gonna come to a place where we decide, yeah, we're gonna do it or we're not gonna do it. You know. So anyhow, I think we doing it. We going ahead. We doing it. We got our plans laid out, and now, do you hear that, baby? I hope the baby heard that too, so it can finally come out. Because I'm ready to take some flaxseed oil or whatever people do to make babies come out. Okay? But we gonna wait because Baba says let it come out naturally. I'm gonna walk around some blocks or do some jumping jacks or laugh a lot or make love. Whatever people do. But yeah. One way or another, we gonna see, as they say. So until then, peace and love, y'all.